My 3-year Fortnite progression video from when I started playing the game again up until the present date. And before anybody asks, yes, I did take this from Jiven and Kenbian, so yeah, sorry. But let's give a little context first. So I actually started playing Fortnite back when it first came out, about a day or two actually after the Battle Royale mode was released. But around season 5 or so, I stopped playing the game entirely, up until COVID started back in chapter 2, season 2. One of my friends told me there was daily duo cups, so I decided I wanted to play it since I'm a very competitive person. And what you're seeing is that gameplay. So keep in mind, this is the first time I started really playing the game again in years. Most people play casually before they get to competitive, but I just straight up went right into competitive. And as you can see, we were absolutely crazy. Let's go, baby! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go. I did not think we were gonna win a game, but we fucking won a game. Let's go. We're at 59 points and we've only played 5 games. No way. So yeah, as you can tell, I was probably a little bit too happy to win a game, but can you really blame me? This was literally one of my first games back, my first tournament ever, and I was just super excited. Also, that unfiltered Blue Yeti mic goes crazy. But at this point, I didn't really switch over to playing Fortnite as like my main game. I still played a lot of Rocket League and Rainbow Six Siege, which were the games I played most at the time. So now we're going to skip a little bit forward to chapter 2, season 3. Now a little bit into season 3, this was the first time I actually started using paddles on my controller. So as you can tell, I am really bad on controller already, but with the paddles, it made things a little bit more bearable. And I actually uploaded a 1-week progression video on paddles, and it actually was one of my first Fortnite videos that did pretty decent, getting just over 1K views. And I actually did improve a lot with paddles. It made my gameplay so much better. And towards the end of this season, I went from being a console player to now having a PC for the first time. Now the PC wasn't anything too crazy, but it got the job done. And because of this, I was able to play my first FNCS ever. This one would be the solo FNCS. And I was only able to play the last 2 qualifiers because I wasn't able to get champs before then. And as you can probably expect, I did not do very good. But for my first FNCS ever, I was just excited to play the game at the time. But now we're going to move on to season 4. And if some of the clips look a little bit choppy, that's because back in the day, my OBS settings were very bad. So I apologize for that. Now, Season 4, also commonly known as Stark Season, was one of my favorite seasons to play in. This is when the game mode switched over from solos to trios, so that means I needed to find some teammates. So I decided to play with one of my IRLs who I knew for a very long time. And we also decided to pick up his duo that he played with for the last couple of seasons, known as Toes or Praise nowadays, who is actually my duo for this current season. And one of the first tournaments of the season was the Contender Trio Cash Cup, back when those were a thing, since we weren't good enough to get champs. But this would still be my best placement I've ever gotten in a cup, getting 286th.
2 more. Yeah, we got this though. Let's fucking go, dude. That was so good.
Let's go.
I wish we got more kills.
Yeah, we just need more kills.
So from here on, my placement started to get a little bit better, as someone would expect after switching from console to PC. But it was chapter 2, season 5, where I really started to unlock my new potential. This was the season where I finally decided to make the switch to being a mouse and keyboard player. During lots of season 4, I was debating on whether I should switch or not, and I would play around here and there using mouse and keyboard, but I finally decided to make the switch. And boy, oh boy, was it worth it. Pretty much immediately, I got to the exact same skill level I was on controller because I felt like I just wasn't able to, get better on controller. I felt like I hit my peak skill level. And as you can see from this montage in the background, this was just 1 week on mouse and keyboard. But during this season, we actually had to switch up the trio a little bit. My IRL friend decided to quit the game, so me and Praise ended up looking for one. And we actually ended up trioing with Mayo for the remainder of the trio seasons. But even as a new trio, we were starting to improve very quickly. As you can see here, this is one of our most dominant FNCS performances in a game.
My third.
Here's the match. Nice. Good shit, boys. Bro.
Who did they play like that, dude?
And this improvement wouldn't stop at season 5. Season 6 was our best season by far. Throughout this season, unfortunately, we weren't able to qualify past opens for FNCS yet again, but this time we were literally 1 point away 2 different times, which was very heartbreaking. But in some good news, we ended up getting our best placement ever in the Reverse 2K Cup. And if you don't remember, it was actually a squad cup, so we ended up calling back in my IRL Jays, and we ended up qualifying and getting our best tourney placement ever.
Nice!
One team, one person, one
Last
person.
kill, last kill.
You got this, you fucking win this.
Yeah, bats, man.
He's down, he's down, he's down.
Just out-mad him, baby.
Let's fucking go, baby!
Oh, we get it!
Let's fucking go!
And with the final win, the clutch to qualification, we were feeling on top of the world. But unfortunately, round 2 literally started at like 1 a.m. on a school night, so we decided to not even bother playing it. But with this being one of the best seasons I've ever played, we go on to season 7. So throughout season 7, nothing really big actually changed, but individually as players, we all got a lot better. And unfortunately, again, we weren't able to qualify past opens in FNCS, but our cash cup placements were starting to get a lot more consistent. Instead of struggling to break a top 1,000, we were easily breaking that and getting some of the most consistent placements we've ever gotten. And the best tournament this season was from DreamHack.
27.
Not
Crack.
with you. He dropped.
He's low. 30 white. I'm just on his wall. He got my head off.
Let's fucking go! We're crazy, baby. We're crazy, bro.
We're
Let's
crazy.
fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go, bro. That's how you qual, bro. Just to get a little qual. You know what I'm saying?
We ended up barely missing qualification for semis by 5 points, and it was very heartbreaking, but as you can probably expect, we go on to next season. So Chapter 2, Season 8, the last season of Chapter 2, and this was more or less the same as last season, where again, we improved as players, but our placements just weren't, as crazy as we would have hoped. Don't get me wrong, we still had some really good placements, and we actually ended up getting our best trios placement at the end of the season.
Get the finish.
I'm going up. No, don't.
2B.
It's last team. It's a 1v3, I think. Or 1v2. Yeah, this is bad. It's alright. 1v1. No mats. 0 mats. Just get pumped. Oh,
No,
good try. Good shit,
leave.
boys. Let's fucking go.
But Chapter 3 is where things took a big turn and my placements started going up. So Chapter 3 Season 1, this is where things really started to change a lot. And for starters, at the very beginning of the season, Aussie Antics ended up watching one of my montages, and that was really just a big moment for me. But it's kind of irrelevant. If you couldn't tell, I wasn't really the best mechanically, considering that I never actually really played the game before I jumped right into competitive. So naturally, I just fit into that IGL role. And since my fighting was really bad, I decided this season I was going to really focus on it. And in solos, I got some of the best placements I've ever gotten. I got 368th, 153rd, 452nd, 228th, 307th, and 388th. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to qualify for any finals, but this consistency was absolutely huge for me and gave me such a confidence boost. And since the main game mode now was duos, Praise and Mayo actually decided to step away from the game for a little bit, so I decided to play with a new duo, Acryl. And our duo cash cup placements were pretty good, but if you don't remember, during FNCS, they made it extremely hard to qualify past opens. Instead of needing top 1,000 like before, you needed top 400 duos. It got close many times, but unfortunately, we were not able to do it. But overall, the season was extremely successful as a growth for me individually as a solo, so now we go on to Chapter 3, Season 2. Now in Chapter 3 Season 2, I actually didn't really upload that many YouTube videos, but I ended up finally qualifying past opens for an FNCS. I know this isn't a crazy achievement, but for some reason I was just cursed and wasn't able to do it, and I felt like I finally broke that curse. And again, we were able to also get our best placement in a duo cash cup, getting 372nd.
I have I'm getting out.
In the bush. Crack. He's sitting in the bush.
50 white.
Dead. Last kid.
180 dead.
Nice. We're fucking crazy, bro. Good shit.
So even though this season not much really happened, I did again as usual get better as a player. But let's go on to Chapter 3, Season 3. Now this season was the best I ever played by far. We were super consistent in every single tournament we played, and we ended up qualifying for every single qualifier in the FNCS. We actually almost ended up making round 3, but unfortunately we were not able to do so. But everything about this season was perfect. My solos were pretty consistent, our duos, we were getting the best placements we've really gotten. And in FNCS Opens, we were able to get 175th, which is our best placement by far as a duo.
They might hit the zip.
We can maybe go up. Wait, I'm hitting it.
One's white. Kid coming up on you. Nice. Good shit.
We're so good. Nah.
Good shit, bro. But Chapter 3 Season 4 is where things were gonna make a big change. So this season is where Epic decided to change it from a regular FNCS and Cash Cup format to making it in divisional cups. Now this also was unfortunately where I needed to find another duo again. I think I have this curse where everybody I play with just seems to quit the game because Akril after that season also decided to step away from the game. In literally one day before the placement cup, I needed to find a duo. Then a mutual that I knew came into my chat and asked if I wanted to play, and I said I was down. And this season was another good one. So during the placement cup, we were actually so close to placing top 200 in order to make elite, but in our very last game when we only needed around 20 points, we ended up getting keyed by a pro duo who was already qualified. And from the rest of that season, we were stuck in challengers since it was really hard to get out of it, where you needed like top 20 to make it to elite. But this season, I really practiced playing height, and we absolutely dominated. I'm not even joking, every single time we made endgame, we were winning the game. And in one of the tournaments, we even got 3 wins. Nah,
You're nasty. Oh my fucking.
Get the fuck out of my lobby.
Wow. 2v1, 2v1. I just fell all the way into rape game. I died.
Oh my god, no way.
Oh my god, we won. We won.
1 kill win, baby. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
We were about to lose. We were about to lose the game.
Nice, good shit. Let's fucking go. But unfortunately, again, we were not able to make elite, so we ended up missing out on FNCS that season. But Chapter 3 Season 4 was also the end of Chapter 3. And starting the beginning of Chapter 4, I finally made my first earnings. So yeah, I did end up making my first earnings this season, but this season was also the one that I actually played the least. So let me explain real quick. So at the very beginning of the season, the placement cup was coming up, and you know, I was doing with colors who I doing with last season. But I ended up getting dropped last minute, and I'm not even joking, 5 minutes before the tournament started, I ended up finding some random duo on Discord. And we'll just say this did not go well. So since I only had 5 minutes to look for a duo, I got randomly sent some kid's Fortnite tracker who said he had like 5k PR, which was similar to what I had. Little did I know I was actually getting scammed, and the kid I was actually playing with only had like 200 PR. And let's just say he was really, really bad. So we did end up qualifying for round 2 of the placement cup, but we didn't end up making challengers. But what I didn't tell you was that Praise and Mayo were actually playing together a little bit last season, but they were just playing here and there, only playing tournaments. And this was officially when Mayo stopped playing the game totally, so me and Praise decided to duo up and just play tournaments this season. And we didn't end up getting out of challengers until the very end because literally we were keying every single game. If you just look at these, we literally were just fragging out on everybody, and to be honest, it was really fun. But at the same time, I literally did not upload a single bit of Fortnite content on my main channel. So if you don't know, the channel that you're watching this video on right now is actually my second channel that I recently made where I only post Fortnite content. My main channel, I now focus on news videos and video essays. So it's completely different from what I do here. Well, you're probably still thinking, where did you get earnings from? You might be thinking it was from the Solo Victory Cups that they added, but no, I'm not that good. So during this season, there was something called a collegiate cup. Pretty much where you needed to be enrolled in college and you have to be a full-time student, which I am. So yeah, I know I'm a boomer and I probably shouldn't be playing Fortnite still, but you know, fuck you. But in this, I ended up making finals and then placing, I think 27th around there in the finals, and ended up making $300. But that brings us to this current season, Chapter 4, Season 2. Now this season was a big change. I know last season I said I didn't play as much, but this was the season where I actually felt super confident in my fighting abilities. Like I said previously, my fighting was my biggest weak point, and in this season, I ended up getting some of my best kills in the solo cups. Instead of before being scared to fight anybody, I was easily dropping 10 plus kills first game, which was very rare for me. And I ended up beating my solo arena kill record, which I think was around like 22 kills or so. But that all changed this season. So I'm sure you're aware that competitive modes have been switched from NA East or NA West to now just NA Central. So I live in upstate New York, so I went from going from 20 to 30 ping on East to being to 60 to 70. This also has to do because my internet's really bad, but obviously mainly the distance. So this season, I felt like everything that I improved on last season was just completely taken away from me. It feels like I really had to learn how to fight all over again. But at the same time, like last season, I haven't really been grinding as much. I've been really focused on getting good content out for my main channel that I haven't really been thinking about, you know, playing like scrims and more arena and stuff like that. So even though I still haven't really been playing as much, my placements this season still aren't that bad, even though me and my duo are now both 60 ping. But since my school is finally over for this semester, I'm going to be focusing on getting more content out for you guys here, and hopefully we're going to be improving playing and making more earnings next season. Thank you all for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments below what season you guys started playing the game. Also, don't forget to check out my Twitch at astefan_. I'm live every single tournament. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.